I mean, if you've been a Christian, when I was a Catholic, I loved the idea of God is everywhere. It's exactly the same here. There are many similarities, actually. It's very interesting. This concept of omniscience, this concept of omnipotence, this concept of infinite compassion. That's the definition of a Buddha, you know. So that Buddhas, there's this Dharmakaya, and even they say there's just one of those. I mean, you know, when you become a Buddha and I become a Buddha and Rosanna becomes a Buddha, we're the same Buddha, if you can say like that. So that's the Dharmakaya, that's the actual Buddha. Now, peanuts like you and me can't communicate with that Buddha because it's too subtle. So, and again, it's very similar to Christianity. God manifested as Jesus in a human body to help us, to teach us. That's exactly the same here. The difference is here, there's not just one manifestation, there are countless manifestations in all kinds of forms of the Buddha for sentient beings' sake, because that's what propels a Buddha, that's what impels a Buddha to become a Buddha, is compassion. So they've got to manifest in bodies that look like you and me so we can communicate with them, so we can hear the teachings, you know. So then that's what's called the guru. So we were living at the time of India, back in India at the time of the Buddha himself, the one that we know, Mr. Shakyamuni Buddha, the Buddha of our time. What we would have seen was this nice sadhu gentleman. I mean, the place was crawling in sadhus. So he eventually diverged in his own direction, and that's why Buddhism is now existing, because he came up with different viewpoints from the Hindus. So then at that time, you would never have known the Buddha. You couldn't have told. A Buddha's not a human being. A Buddha just takes a human body for our sake. So you can't tell. We're not clairvoyant. We wouldn't know who a Buddha is. So if you're in India at the time, okay, first of all, we see statues, don't we? We see Shakyamuni Buddha, this monk in all the statues. We say, oh, there's the Buddha, we'll say. But if you were in India at the time, you wouldn't have been able to distinguish between a Buddha and all the other hundreds of sadhus running around. The place was crawling in sadhus. You would not have told the difference. All these nice people, men of course, probably no ladies, in their yellow robes, all these renunciates, you wouldn't have told the difference. You wouldn't have known. So then that's why you had to check up on the Buddha, see if he was valid, listen to his teachings. So he would have been your guru at the time. So there's no Buddha other than the human Buddha is the guru. That's what it means, you know. That's why they say the guru is the Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha was the guru of that time. He happened to have a Buddha's mind because he'd become a Buddha. Well, you know, there are countless people right now on this planet who are also Buddhas, manifesting as regular human beings. It could be your next door neighbor. It could be your wife. How do you know? As the Tibetans say, you know, we don't know who anyone is, so you don't judge. And that's the point. We can't tell by looking. Even though we all say, oh, the Dalai Lama's the Buddha, how do we know? We're not clairvoyant. He's a nice person. We think he's gorgeous. That doesn't mean he's a Buddha. But they say he is, and we have confidence that he is. So that's the guru. So that many of the practices and prayers and practices we do as Tibetan Buddhists, which is in the Vajrayana system, which talks about the many forms of Buddha. In the sutra teachings, there's one Buddha, it's Shakyamuni Buddha, the monk. And he's the manifestation of the practices at that level, junior school and high school, first scope and second scope. He's the manifestation of controlled body, speech, and mind. That's exactly what the monk is manifesting as. That's the visual manifestation of those qualities. But then we have the Bodhisattva path, and within the Bodhisattva path, we have the Tantric path. So the Tantric manifestation, the Bodhisattva manifestation of Buddha, that's Vajradhara. That's Dorji Chung in Tibetan. But then under him are the 5 Buddha families, Akshobhya, Amitabha, Vairochana, you know, and the others, Ratnasambhava and Amoghasiddhi. And each of them is a manifestation of purified aspects of different delusions. Then under all of them are all the thousands and thousands of other Buddhas. And they're all manifestations of different psychological qualities we want to cultivate, or they're purified manifestations of delusions we want to purify. So there are countless numbers of Buddhas. There's one Dharmakaya, but there are countless manifestations. So that's in Tantra. That's why we see Tara, Chenrezig, all the others, you know, but they're all the same Buddha, but dressing up, looking differently, representing different psychological qualities that we want to cultivate or we want to purify. That's coming from the Tantric path. But they're all the same. Shakyamuni Buddha, Vajradhara, he's the Tantric aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha. Then the 5 Buddha families under him and all the thousands under him. So this prayers, this pujas here is basically offerings to the Guru. So why do you want to make offerings? Because everything we think and do and say karmically leaves seeds in our mind, leaves imprints. And we need to create bucket loads of really delicious positive seeds, which, as you know, the Buddhists call that creating merit. And we also need to purify all the weeds and the rubbish out of our mind. That's what we have to do. And there are certain practices in particular that bring in the Buddha, that relate to the Buddha. Any meditation you do that has the Buddha in it, it's because of the power of the Buddhas, because of the power of enlightened beings. It has infinite more virtue and infinite more purification. I mean, you could watch your breath for 1,000,000 eons, and you could create as much merit as you would doing that, getting concentration, if you concentrate on the Buddha as your object of concentration, because they talk about any practices we do that in relate to the power of the object, and the object in this case is the guru as oneness with the Buddha. So what this practice is, like all variations of all the different sadhanas, they're all essentially the same. You first of all you take, there are three sections, and the headings will tell us when you go through. You read the headings; it's very helpful. There are 3 sections. First are the preliminary practices, and it's here where we take refuge, we generate bodhicitta, as these are the verses that we do. And it's not explicit here, it's implicit that you would visualize the merit field of the refuge merit field, or you'd visualize Shakyamuni Buddha. And that's the preliminaries. And at some point when we get to like verse 5, verse 7, verse 1, so verse 7, we'll go through, we'll see. Then we dissolve that into us and meditate on emptiness, and then we set up the merit field. And that's the second part of it, and that's called the actual practice. And if you see in this book, you see the picture of the merit field on about page 6. So then we do the actual practice. And that basically, we set up the visualization of the merit field. I mean, in this case, the central figure in the merit field, as they say, is like Lama, Losang, Doje Chang. Lama, Losang, Doje Chang. So it's, no, I missed one. What is it? There's one more, there's 5. Lama Tubwang. Lama, Losang, Tubwang, Doje Chang. So Lama means our Lama, our personal Lama, the one who is our guru of today. You know, our Lama, and you visualize him in the human form, sitting in the center of the merit field, the Lama. He is in the manifestation of Tsongkhapa, Losang Dragpa, and that's indicated by holding the text and whatever else he's holding, I forget, which shows he's Lama Tsongkhapa. The next one is Tubwang. He's in the aspect also of Buddha. Tubwang is the Buddha, Shakyamuni. So he's in the aspect also of Shakyamuni Buddha, and he's got his hand in his lap, looking like the Buddha, holding a begging bowl. And then at his heart is the tantric aspect of Buddha, and that's in Sanskrit, Vajradhara, in Tibetan, Doje Chang. So it's Lama, Tubwang, Lama, Losang, Tubwang, Doje Chang. Our Lama, Lama Tsongkhapa, Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and Doje Chang. It's that one, all in that one form, and he's representing all of them. And then he's surrounded by all the merit field, which it mentions briefly in those verses 10, 11, and 12, and so on, you know. So then we set up the visualization, and then that's called the commitment being. And now what we've got to do, and this is where we get to we invite the wisdom beings. That means we set up the visualization, but that's kind of like pretend. It's just our visualization. So what we've got to do is invite the wisdom beings, and that's in verses 16 and 17. And that's where we send light out from the heart of all the beings in the merit field, and it goes out to the universe and hooks the energy of all the Buddhas of the universe, and it all comes back and they all dissolve into the merit field. And now it becomes real. Now we've got the actual Buddha. And now what we do from there on is the 7-limb prayer. That's it. There are several verses of the prostration verses, starting in verse 18. Then we've got many of those. Then we have many offering verses. And then we have the rest of the verses of the Lamrim. We do many verses. And then we have confession, rejoicing, begging the lamas to stay, begging them to teach, and the dedication. Most of the puja is the 7 limbs. Then we've got special requesting prayers, requesting the lama to stay, requesting this, requesting that, and then we do the tsog offering, and then we do dedication. That's the puja. So why do we do this? What's the point, you know? Well, given that every thought we have sows a seed. So what are we doing here? We're relating to the Buddha. We're imagining the Buddha. So we're doing one of the most powerful practices, which is called offerings. That's something that we don't get in our world. I think when we think about giving things to people, we think the merit is in the fact that the person gets it. So we think, what on earth are we sitting here imagining making bucket loads of offerings to the Buddha? It seems like just fantasy. Well, we don't realize that every second we think anything. So there's the Buddha. We're imagining the Buddha. You're imagining offering. That seed that you plant in your mind does not go astray. That's super powerful. And because of the power of the object, the offering and the requesting are super powerful practices that keep us close to the Buddha, open our hearts, develop our devotion. And when your heart is devoted, your heart can be open, your heart can be loving, your heart be compassionate, and you can get wisdom. If your heart is closed, that's the opposite to wisdom and opposite to compassion. So it's a very tasty, powerful practice, you know, to help us cultivate virtue, to purify our minds, and to create a connection with the Buddhas. That's the purpose of doing Lama Chöpa, roughly speaking. Will that do, Mary? Okay, good. I hope that's useful. And maybe you have questions. I think we can spend 5 minutes on questions. Are there any questions about all that? I'm very happy to do my best to answer.
Robina, thank you. So this is I've heard of the mandala offering. This is a practice like, is that right?
The mandala offering is one of the many types of offerings, Brad, and it's in fact in here. We will do a mandala offering. This is in general, puja actually is Sanskrit, it means offering. So this is offering to the Lama. The whole thing is like lots of offerings, but it's more than that. There's requests and prayers, but mandala offering is an offering of the entire universe. And that's, you visualize. I mean, Tibetans are this is the Vajrayana from India, but Tibetans are very good at all this. You use your creative imagination. So a mandala offering is simply visualizing the entire universe and offering the contents of it to the Buddha. That's one of the many kinds of offerings, Brad.
Okay, thank you.
Brad's in Melbourne too. He's another Australian guy. Okay, what else, people? Thank you, Brad. Any other questions, people? No, okay. Well, we'll do our best. I'll sing a few Tibetan tunes, and if I forget the tune, we'll say the English that we will alternate between. Okay. And you can just, I mean, you know, it might be abstract for you, might be foreign for you. That's perfectly understandable. But the key thing is to remember, this is the thing that is not how we think in the West. We don't think thoughts matter. This is what's fascinating. But the Buddha said every millisecond of what we think sow seeds in our mind. So you could be, you know, you'd be sit there on your own. That's why retreat is so powerful. We think it's a waste of time. But if you're purifying your mind and you're creating virtue and you're having positive thoughts and you're making aspirations, and this is what we're doing here. This is unbelievable practice, you know, because this is where we are turning ourselves into this marvelous person. This is part of our practice. It's huge, you know, when we understand karma, which is every thought we have doesn't just go astray. It's not meaningless. We're very nihilistic in the West. We think thoughts don't matter. It's incredible. Every thought counts. And these positive, uplifting thoughts, you know, we're opening our heart. And if I mean, that's up to us. If we like the Buddha's path, that's up to us. We don't have to like it. But if we do, and we have a connection with teachers, and we have a connection with the Buddha, this helps us get closer, opens our heart, makes us, you know, that's what devotion means. And devotion is a very good quality, you know. It opens your heart, which means you're more ready to hear wisdom, you're more ready to get compassion. It's very sensible, very practical. All right, people, we do our best. So we start with verse 2. I don't know if you all have the same page numbers, but it's verse 2 anyway. The verses are very clear.
On page 3.
No, I've got a different book. I hope it's the same. Okay. All right, people. So we start. And here the headings are all there. I think all the headings are the same. Generating the field of merit, right? You have the headings?
I have the preliminary practice about it.
That's all it says. Nothing else.
Yeah, just like that. Let me check that.
Oh, okay. I'll just see if it's the same one. Yeah, maybe it's the same. Preliminary practice. Okay. So this is going to be taking refuge and cultivating this amazing bodhicitta, this aspiration to become a Buddha, so we can be a benefit to others. That's what we're doing here. Okay. Rabka gesem chenpo nyangine Jagjang kanyam magen sem chenam Dengne jisi jang chub ning perbar Lama konchog somla kyab sudro Namo Guru Bhya Namo Buddhaya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sanghaya Namo Guru Bhya Namo Buddhaya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sanghaya Namo Guru Bhya Namo Buddhaya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sanghaya. So this is not, that's Sanskrit, this is not Tibetan. So Lama Yidam, Konchok Sum La Kyab Su Chiwo, Lama Yidam, Konchok Sum La Kyab Su Chiwo, Lama Yidam, Konchok Sum La Kyab Su Chiwo, Lama Yidam, Konchok Sum La Kyab Su Chiwo. Now bodhicitta. Ma sem chen kun gi dan gi chi dag ni lama la gyur ne sem chen tam che lama lai go pang chog la go pa ja ma sem chen kun gi dan gi chi dag ni lama la gyur ne sem chen tam che lama lai go pang chog la go pa ja ma sem chen kun gi dan gi chi dag ni lama la gyur ne sem chen tam che lama lai go pang chog la go pa ja. So this next one, special bodhicitta, it means this is from Tantra, where we say, I will quickly, in this very life. That's implying from the tantric point of view, will we become enlightened in one short lifetime if we're really qualified. Ma sem chen tam che ki dan du dagi se di ni la nyurwa de me sangye lama lai go pang nyon du je ma sem chen tam che dug nye le jel de chen sangye ki sala ga pa ja de chi du lam zab mo lama lai nel jor nyam su lang wa gi o. So now, if you don't, if you imagine we've seen the Buddha there, now we just imagine Buddha, if you've got the initiation, you know what to do, the 3 kayas meditation. But if not, just visualize now the Buddha comes to our crown and then dissolves into us. And we imagine we become oneness with Buddha's body, speech, and mind, and the Lama's body, speech, and mind, and our body, speech, and mind become one. So just for about a minute, just a minute, imagine becoming oneness with that energy. And if you understand emptiness, then meditate on emptiness. We imagine we're the Dharmakaya. Imagine that. And meditate on emptiness. So then moved by our bodhicitta, we think we've become a Buddha, but what good is this to others? We have to manifest for their sake. So if you haven't received empowerment, you visualize now the Buddha, you just visualize the Buddha at your heart. And if you have received, you imagine you manifest as your yidam. De chen yang le rang yi lama la gang de selwe kule erze tsok chok chu te pe na chu jin la pe dag parab jambajik yun tengi Kepe kepar pun som tsok pa gyur. So we say the words in English and we just try and do what it says, Pure clouds of outer, inner, and secret offering substances pervade the reaches of space, earth, and sky, spreading out inconceivably. In nature, they are transcendental wisdom. In aspect, inner offerings and the individual offering substances, as enjoyments of the 6 senses, they function to generate the special transcendental wisdom of bliss and emptiness. And now the actual practice. We prepared our minds by generating bodhicitta, by taking refuge, and now we set up the merit field. This Buddha is surrounded by all the others, as the words will tell us. So maybe we say it in English, this one, just so we hear the words. Visualize, do our best. In the vast space of indivisible bliss and emptiness, amidst billowing clouds of Samantabhadra offerings, at the crest of a wish-granting tree, adorned with leaves, flowers, and fruit, is a precious lion throne ablaze with gems, on which is a wide lotus, sun, and full moon. On them sits my root guru, kind in three ways: in nature, all Buddhas; in aspect, a saffron-robed monk, with one face, two arms, and a radiant white smile. Right hand in the gesture of expounding the Dharma, left in meditative pose, holding an alms bowl full of nectar. You wear three lustrous saffron robes, and your head is crowned by a golden pandit's hat. In your heart sits the all-pervading Lord, powerful Vajradhara, with one face, two arms, and a blue body, holding Vajra and bell, embracing Vajradhatu Ishvari, the queen of space, delighting in the play of simultaneous bliss and emptiness. They are adorned with jewel ornaments of many designs and clothed in garments of heavenly silk. Adorned with the marks and signs, radiant with countless light rays, you sit in the Vajra position, encircled by a five-colored rainbow. Your pure aggregates are the five sugatas, your four elements the four consorts, your sources, channels, sinews, and joints are actual bodhisattvas. The hairs of your paws are 21,000 arhants, your limbs the wrathful protectors, the light rays directional guardians and secret yakshas, while the worldly gods are cushions for your feet. Surrounding you in their respective order sit the direct and lineage gurus, yidams, host of mandala deities, Buddhas, bodhisattvas, heroes, and dakinis, encircled by an ocean of Dharma protectors. The three Vajras mark their three doors. From the letter Hung, hooked light rays radiate, drawing forth the wisdom beings from their natural abode to become non-dual and set. Now we again invite the Buddhas from the whole universe to come and absorb into our visualization, making it all real Buddhas. Though phenomena are free of any inherent coming and going, you arise through your enlightened activity of wisdom and loving compassion, according to the dispositions of varied disciples. Holy refuge saviors, please come forth with your retinues. Source of complete happiness and goodness throughout the three times, root and lineage gurus, yidams, three jewels of refuge, heroes, dakinis, dharma protectors, and hosts of guardians, by the power of your compassion, come forth and abide steadfast. The wisdom and commitment beings become non-dual. Now these series of verses, the prostration verses, as different aspects of the Buddha, these different, you just read the headings as you go. Ho gangi tuk je dewa chen per ying, kusom go pan chokyang ke chigla, sol se Lama rin chen tabuku, doje chen ja pe mo chag selo. Rab Jangelwa Kungi Yesheni, Gandul Chiyan Charwe Tadke Chok, Nur Mixin Pegaginam Ralwa, Kyab Gundam Pejabla Chagselo. Nye kun bag chak che padrong chong jing, pak me yan ten rin chen sok ki te. Pende ma lu jong we go chi pu, jetsen la me jabla chag selo. La che tan pa sang ye kun ginyor, ye chi ji tong dam chu jong we ne, pag so kun gi na lang ye wa, din chen la ma nam la chag selo. Du som chok chu juk pe la ma dang, rin chen chok som chagu tam che la. De ching me pe ta yang ya tso che, jing dul nyam pe lu chul chak selo. And now we make the outer offerings, the 8 outer offerings. In this case, I think extra ones. Oh, Kyabgun Jetson Lama Kochela Natsok Chuchin Gyatso Bulwani Kalegrin Chena Bana Yangle Dagje Dutsi Chuji Delgiba Dong posil ma treng wa peleg pa zepe me tog sadang barnangang jimpa ki du pa beduye ya kien yan pu chingi lalam chik Nida norbura badan metzok Tong sumun selazet gagur gabuts and dengur kom digape perchut sochen koyuk konekil roge chudenza chatung wadang ladang mi jelzelun porpung not sokral maje dakta yele jongwe danyen durwasa sumgeng Zogdadi roreg jepel sinpe chinandayan lama chokun kyab. And now, Brad, we make the offering. Now we make the mandala offering, Brad. Visualize all the holy beings. Mary, people don't have the text? Mary?
Yes, most folks do have the text, and I've uploaded it in the chat box and also the
good.
link
Okay, very good.
to the Dropbox.
Okay, so now we're doing verse 32 and we're making a mandala offering. So this just means imagining all the marvelous things of the universe that make people happy, and we're piling them on, offering to the Buddha. It's very auspicious. Okay. Oh, Jewa Trage Lingji Lon Poche Rinchen Dundang Yewe Rinchen Sok Kunga Kiepe Nachu Pun Som Sok Lami Long Dagu Te Chen Po Dang Wei Sem Ki Pujong Jingi Chok Kyab Gun Tuk Je Tela Ul Wagi. So there's a requesting prayer, requests. By the merit of having offered this mandala to the merit field, may I and all sentient beings be able to meet the pure wisdom teachings of the victorious one, which contain the biography of those eminent ones who live in pure morality, have the brave attitude to follow extensively the bodhisattva's conduct, and practice the yogas of the two stages, the essence of which is the transcendental wisdom of non-dual bliss and voidness. May I and all sentient beings be able to meet this pure, complete teaching of Lama Tsongkhapa, the unification of Sutra and Tantra, right this second. Now imagine them, all the merit field happily receiving our offering. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami. Now a series of other verses. Each of the headings will tell you what we're offering. Let's hope I sing the right tune. Anya sham yitrol yijin gatson yok. No, it's not. Sorry, people, I'm so disappointing. I forgot the tune. I have to say it in English. It's a very nice tune as well. Forgive me. I can't remember. Okay, thousand petal lotus. It's good to do the English so we can visualize, you know. Thousand petal lotuses grow on the shore of a wish-granting ocean, both actually set out and mentally emanated. Arising from the virtues of samsara and nirvana, they captivate all minds. Everywhere are flowers, the worldly and transcendental virtues of the three doors of myself and others, and 100,000 fragrant Samanthabhadra offerings spread. This pleasure grove laden with fruits of the three trainings, 2 stages and 5 paths. I offer this to please you, perfect Guru. I offer a drink of China tea, saffron bright, imbued with delicious scents and rich with 100 flavors. The 5 hooks, 5 lamps, and so forth are purified, transformed, and increased into an ocean of nectar. I offer illusion-like consorts of youthful splendor, slender and skilled in the 64 arts of love, a host of beautiful messenger dakinis, field-born, mantra-born, and simultaneously born. Unobstructed great transcendental wisdom simultaneous with bliss, the sphere free from elaboration, the nature of all phenomena, spontaneous and indivisible, beyond thought and expression, supreme, ultimate bodhicitta, I offer to you. To cure the 404 diseases caused by mental afflictions, I offer all kinds of wholesome medicine, and I offer myself as a servant to please you. Pray keep me in your service as long as space endures. Do we say that? So for those of us who've taken bodhisattva vows, we would do our recitation of our prayer 3 times. And for those of us who've taken the tantric vows, we recite that prayer as well. So if you haven't, then you just listen and you make the aspiration that perhaps one day you'd like to do that. So we just do the motivation first from Lama Zopa. So that an infinite number of my kind mother sentient beings are suffering in samsara is so unbearable. I must free them from some suffering, and I lead them to enlightenment as quickly as possible without even delaying 1 second. To do this, I must become enlightened. Without tantric, oh no, the wrong prayer. I missed the one. Sorry, I missed the bodhisattva prayer. Start again. This is the bodhisattva prayer, page 18, yeah. So the purpose of my life is to free all my kind mother sentient beings from suffering and to lead them to enlightenment. To do this, I must receive enlightenment. And without the bodhisattva vows, this is not possible. Therefore, I'm going to take the bodhisattva vows for the benefit of all my kind mother sentient beings. I go for refuge of the 3 jewels. I confess individually all negativities. I rejoice in the virtue of migrating beings. I hold with my mind a Buddha's enlightenment. I go for refuge until my enlightenment to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. In order to fully accomplish the purposes of myself and others, I shall generate the mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I shall invite all sentient beings to be my guests. I'll undertake the pleasing supreme conduct of enlightenment. May I accomplish Buddhahood in order to benefit migrating beings. I go for refuge of the 3 jewels. I confess individually all negativities. I rejoice in the virtue of migrating beings. I hold with my mind a Buddha's enlightenment. I go for refuge until my enlightenment to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. In order to fully accomplish the purposes of myself and others, I'll generate the mind of enlightenment. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I shall invite all sentient beings to be my guests. I shall undertake the pleasing supreme conduct of enlightenment. May I accomplish Buddhahood in order to benefit migrating beings. The purpose of my life is to free all I go for refuge of the 3 jewels. I confess individually all negativities. I rejoice in the virtue of migrating beings. I hold with my mind a Buddha's enlightenment. I go for refuge until my enlightenment to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. In order to fully accomplish the purposes of myself and others, I'll generate the mind of enlightenment. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I shall invite all sentient beings to be my guests. I'll undertake the pleasing supreme conduct of enlightenment, and may I accomplish Buddhahood in order to benefit migrating beings. So think strongly that we have received the complete pure set of bodhisattva vows, and those vows that were broken are now restored, and those that were kept have been increased. And now those of us who've taken the tantric vows. That an infinite number of my kind mother sentient beings are suffering in samsara is so unbearable. I must free them from suffering and lead them to enlightenment as quickly as possible without delaying even 1 second. To do this, I must become enlightened, and without tantric vows, that is not possible. Therefore, I'm going to take the tantric vows for the benefit of my kind mother sentient beings. Basically, what we're doing here is renewing our commitment to the 5 Buddha families. This is what we're doing, you know. It's not technically saying the vows, but there's when we take initiation, these 5 commitments to the 5 Buddha families, which covers all our different practices. That's what we're doing here. So again, if you haven't just taken, you make the aspiration that maybe one day you do. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please listen to me. So you say the name of one of the 5 Buddha families that you received when you had your initiation. If you don't remember, then you think Akshobhya. I, from now until I reach the essence of Buddhahood, shall generate the sacred peerless bodhicitta, just as all the Buddhas of the 3 times have ensured themselves of awakening by generating it. I pledge to uphold the vows of the Buddha lineage, to rely on the peerless triple gem, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the 3 disciplines of observing proper behavior, gathering virtuous Dharma, and benefiting sentient beings. This is the family of Vairocana. I pledge to uphold the Vajra bell and mudra of the great Vajra lineage, and to honor my teachers, Akshobhya. I pledge to practice the 4 types of giving 6 times each day, keeping in mind the delightful commitments of the great Ratna lineage, Ratna Sambhava. For the great Padma lineage, I pledge to uphold individually the holy dharmas that arose from great enlightenment, those of the outer, secret, and 3 vehicles, Amitabha. For the great supreme Karma lineage, I pledge to uphold all vows well and to make as many offerings as possible, Amoghasiddhi. I'll generate the vows of peerless bodhicitta for the sake of all and uphold all samayas without exception. I shall deliver those not delivered, liberate those not liberated, give breath to those unable to breathe, and place all beings in the state beyond sorrow. I think all beings, that those unable to breathe is the hell beings. And now we just go one. We don't need to do the first one. Just say these last 2 lines again. I'll uphold all the, we don't need to do the first one. I'll uphold all the general and specific tantric vows and commitments of the 5 lineages without exception. I'll deliver those not delivered, liberate those not liberated, give breath to those unable to breathe, and place all beings in the state beyond sorrow. I shall uphold all the general and specific tantric vows and commitments of the 5 lineages without exception. I shall deliver those not delivered, liberate those not liberated, give breath to those unable to breathe, and place all beings in the state beyond sorrow. Now the remainder of the 7 limbs, 1 verse for each. This is acknowledging our non-virtue and then delighting in our virtue, requesting the holy beings to continue to teach, requesting the holy beings to stay with us as long as time exists, and then we dedicate the merit. O tog me dune mi ge dig pe le gidang gitsel yirang chi chi pa tog je cheden chenya gyesem ki shag shing lenche migi dom panu chanam rangjin tsen madang drel yang milam jijin kye patam cheki Dega chiyang chawe namka la dak chak sampa tagpe yirangyo. So just for a moment, just rejoice. I think we never think to do this. We remember our negativity all the time. We never rejoice in our amazing qualities. So we just think, delighted, be happy for all the amazing holy beings who practice, all the incredible beings in this universe who work hard, who help others, who practice virtue, and all of our own work, all our own hard work, our effort to practice, effort to work on our minds, effort to be forgiving, effort to be loving, effort to purify. Just we should be delighted in this. If we practice, if we're helping the center, if we're working for Dharma like this, rejoice, delight. We have to do this, otherwise our minds get very depressed. We never remember to rejoice, though. It's so powerful. But in our own as well, in our own virtue, be so, so happy for ourselves, so delighted. And now we strongly request that all the holy beings to teach the Dharma. So when we do this, if you can imagine offering a beautiful Dharma wheel, like a Dharma wheel, imagine and asking all the holy beings to continue to teach us. Because you see, it's the cause of our receiving teachings and our meeting the holy beings again is our requesting. This is why it's so powerful. Requests are so powerful. That's the meaning. Lama Zopa says everything exists on the tip of the wish. I want, may I. So many of our prayers are may I. You're sowing the seed for that, and that causes you to get it. It's so powerful. You're not asking someone else to do anything. You know, you're creating the cause yourself. So powerful. Puljong Kiense, Chutin Boom Trick, Te Chaye, Drodi, Pende Kunde Tsel. Kiedang Yundu, Nedang Pelwe, Cheers up gay, Turkey, Charpa Abdur Sol. Now, this time imagine countless numbers of yourself offering lion thrones, like a throne. And that's for the holy beings and a double dorji. The holy beings never leave us, always stay in samsara to be around us. Dorje kula kiechi minya yang zungjuk wangi gelpezamatok dagchag mepa jishin site banyanyen mida tagpajuk du sol. Now we dedicate all the virtue, all this merit of this series of practices, all this rejoicing, all the 7 limbs, we dedicate. I dedicate the massive white virtues, all these virtues that I've thus created, so that I may be inseparably cared for in all my lives by perfect pure gurus who are kind in 3 ways and so attain the unified state of Vajradhara. And now, the next one's a series of requests. Requesting is a huge practice, amazing. And it's not, it's requesting the Buddhas, but you know, the requesting is what brings the merit. Requesting is what brings the result. I mean, if you go to the shop and you ask for an ice cream, you're requesting an ice cream. Guess what? You get the ice cream. If you just stand there and don't ask, you don't get an ice cream, I promise. So you've got to request, want, I will, I want. It's the cause, you know. It's very practical. This one you sort of chant it, a bit like rap. Just kind of chant. Yonten jungne tsulchim gyatso che mangte norbu tsoki yongsu tam nyurmig zinpa chubwang nipeje neten dulwa zinla solwa deb gangdang dena dewa shekpelam tunpa upe yonten chudenpa malu gyalwe dungtop chukije tektok ewe shela solwa deb Gosom legdam lochen zoden drang yodang yume nagdang yushe shing denyi chuzung didang cherkepe doje simpe sola solwa deb sangye drangme junpet matulwe marung dulke nigdo drowala desheg lamzang jijin tampayi kabgun tukje chenla solwa deb tope nima dukin nubgute gankya mepe drowa mangpola gelwe tsepa nyewa duktepe kaku tukje chenla solwa deb Dusum chokchu kelwa tamchele gangi bapu buga chiksamyang dagchak sanam jingdu leknyakpe gabkyun tukje chenla solwa deb deshe kusum gegi koloni tabke gutul dawe jorgegle tamel sugi drowa denzepe gabgun tukje chenla solwa deb Kirki Pongkam Keche Yanlagnam Deshek Jigna Yabyum Sempadang Trowa Wangpa Ragjin Chokchosi Gi Dagni Lama Chogla Sowa Deb Kun Kenya Sheropa La Jongwe, Kilko Kolo Jewe Dagnide, Rige Kyabdang Doje Tsimpetu, Juktung, Dagper Gurna Solwa Deb, Jimelen Ke Gawe Ropa Dang, Yelme Tenyo Kungab Kungit Dag. Togma Tadel Kunzang Dundamgi Jangchob Semyo Kyola Solwa Deb. There's now this special one-pointed request. O Kyani Lama, Kyani Yedam, Kyani Kadro, Chekyongte. Dengne zungte jangchu baldu kyamin kyabjen mitserwe Didang bardo chime tayang togje chakyu zung zela si Nadrop Kunsal Tengi Doctor Batra You are the Guru, you are the Yidam, you are the Dakinis and Dharma protectors. From now until enlightenment, I shall seek no other refuge than you. In this life, the Bardo, and all future lives, hold me with your hook of compassion. Free me from samsara and nirvana's fears. Grant all attainments. Be my constant friend and guard me from interferences. You are the Guru, you are the Yidam, you are the Dakinis and Dharma protectors. From now until enlightenment, I shall seek no other refuge than you. In this life, the Bardo, and all future lives, hold me with your hook of compassion. Free me from samsara and nirvana's fears. Grant all attainments. Be my constant friend and guard me from interferences. By the force of having thus requested 3 times, you visualize nectar and light rays, white, red, and dark blue, come from each of the 3 points of the Guru, from the forehead, throat, and heart. Stream forth from the places of my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and they dissolve into my 3 places, one by one, and then all together. So imagine with 4 obstacles are purified, the 4 pure empowerments and the 4 kayas are attained. I am blessed by, and now we visualize I am blessed by a replica of the Guru who happily dissolves into me. So now we offer Tsog. This the Tsog offering is completely related to Vajrayana, to Tantra, and it's quite subtle and quite, it's quite powerful. It's said to be very powerful. Because the key thing in Tantra, the key practice is to stop seeing everything as mundane. They say due to negative karma for countless eons, we see everything in a very gross, mundane way. So with Tantra, we're especially practicing trying to sort of lift our view and see things as transcendental. And and you link that with emptiness, because the fact is nothing has an inherent nature. So because of that, we're practicing seeing things as sublime. That's why we see ourselves as a deity. When you've taken empowerment, you have a practice to see yourself as that deity, to hear all sound as mantra, to see the entire universe as a mandala, to see everything as pure. It's a very powerful practice linked with emptiness, because of emptiness, that quickly helps us purify negative karma and quickly helps us become a Buddha. So Tsog is in relation to all that. So it's taking all the mundane, ordinary things of the world and seeing them as sublime, as transcendental. Pure clouds of outer, inner, and secret offering substances pervading the reaches of space, earth, and sky, spreading out inconceivably. In nature, they are transcendental wisdom and aspect, inner offerings, and the individual offering substances. As enjoyments of the six senses, they function to generate the special transcendental wisdom of bliss and voidness. Emaho yeshe pache jing kam tam che dorje jing ne nam dorje podrang che kunzang che chin gyatso bar long chud gu pel dangen chunam pawo pamonyo ma dag trulpe ming yang me dag parab jambajiko hong tre kunye jik chu kunyang long me yo jing barwe teng mi ge pu songi kar attendant pa kapalar Om Zenam so sok parwagyur de dag teng ne om ahum kadog jiji so bar long ye me ba tenam ju kalwe lang pa chen per ye pe yige som le ozet sok chok chutre pe doje som jutsi chenam chendangne so yige som chimpe jutsi shune chudangre jang tok barje emaho dugu pelba gyatso gu omahung 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 Tokje Dagnita. Oh, wrong tune again. Sorry. So sorry. Upsetting all the things. Rooted lineage gurus in the nature of compassion, assembly of yidams and deities, three jewels of refuge, heroes, dakinis, hosts of protectors and guardians, I request you to come to this offering site. Amidst an offering, an ocean of clouds and outer, inner, and secret offerings on a beautiful throne made of precious gems, firmly place your radiant feet, Supreme Siddha, and grant me every desired attainment. Ho Tengzin Yagdang Chagye Jin Lape Zag Me Dutsi Tsog Chu Gyatso Di Tsagu Lame Tsog Nam Nye Chirbul Oma Hung Dagu Pella Rulpe Timsene Emma Ho Jin La Chachen of True Soul. We skip the next verse. Go to 64. Okay. Yeah, 64. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar, we offer to please you, hosts of yidams, deities, and your retinues, Om Ahum, content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable, Emaho, please let fall a great rain of attainments. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar, we offer to please you, hosts of precious jewels of refuge, Om Ahum, content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable. Emaho, please let fall a great rain of holy Dharma. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar, we offer to please you, hosts of Dakinis and Dharma protectors. Om Ahum. Content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable. Ema Ho. Please let fall a great rain of enlightened activities. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar, we offer to please you, hosts of mother sentient beings. Om Ahum. Om Ahum, Om Ahum, content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable. Em Aho, please dispel the suffering of deceptive appearances. 2 more times. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mudra, and mantra, and mudra, this offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar we offer to please you, hosts of root and lineage gurus. Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum, content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable. Em Aho, please let fall a great rain of blessings. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar, we offer to please you, hosts of Yidam's deities and your retinues. Om Ahung, Om Ahung, Om Ahung, content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable. Em Aho, please let fall a great rain of attainments. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar, we offer to please you, hosts of precious jewels of refuge. Om Ahung, Om Ahung, Om Ahung, content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable. Em Aho, please let fall a great rain of holy Dharma. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar we offer to please you, host of Dakinis and Dharma protectors. Om Ahung, Om Ahung, Om Ahung, content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable. Em Aho, please let fall a great rain of enlightened activities. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering a feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar, we offer to please you, hosts of mother sentient beings. Om Ahung, Om Ahung, Om Ahung, content by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable. Em Aho, please dispel the suffering of deceptive appearances. One more time. Ho, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this offering, we'll chant in Tibetan this one. Ho tenzin nadan jage jin la pe zagme dutsit sokjur gyatso di tsagyu lame sognam nature bolo ma hung dugu pela rope tsimsene ma ho jin lab chachen up to sol. Ho tenzin nadan jage jin la pe zagme dutsit sokjur gyatso di yidam latso koche nature bolo ma hung Jagu pela rope simsene ema ho na drub chachen up to sol. Ho tenzen nadan chagejin la pe zagme dutsit sochur gatso di. Control grinchen sognam nature bulo ma hum. Jagu pela rope simsene ema ho damcha chachen up to sol. Ho tenzen nadan chagejin la pe zagme dutsit sochur gatso di. Kadro chakyong sognam nature bulo ma hung. Jagu pela rope simsene ema ho chinle chachen up to sol. Ho tinzen nadan chagejin la pe zagme dutsit sochur gatso di. Yimagyo semchen sognam nature bulo ma hung. Jagu pela rope simsene ema ho chulnan dugnel zigyur chi. And now we go to verse 68. So here we have some talk and everything here. So imagining we're going to now offer to the Buddha as the guru here, and Charmaine and Matt are going to take the offerings and they're going to make them. So we do that. Imagine all of us together making the offerings to the guru as the Buddha. Let's say think right in here now. Here we are right here, you see? They're going to offer this, the essence of the Tsog here. Ema ho Toki koloche du som de sheg shulte nadru malu jongwene deta shene pawoche Nampar tokpe sembone tosoki kologundural la la ho. Now imagine the Holy Lama answering. Om doje somyer me pedak rangi lama la selne azagme yeshe dutsidi jang chub semle yo me par Lune lanam sim chirul aho mahasuka. Distribute. You should distribute. So we've got more talk here, and we're imagining we're going to distribute to everybody. Imagine you're all sharing. Just a little bit is okay. So then we sing. If we were all together, we'd stop and have a cup of tea and a holy gossip, but we're not. So we can have a holy gossip. You've got a cup of tea there. Make yourself a nice chai. It's a really nice ceremony. Okay, we'll just sing the song of the Spring Queen. And Charmaine's going to offer a round for us three here. Imagine to offer all of you as well. So you imagine you're all enjoying. Okay, this is the song of the Spring Queen. The Dakinis. They love their Dakinis. Hung dejen shekpa tam che dang pawo chagni dagni nel jorma kadro dagni kadroma kunla dagni solwa deb dewa chogla gepe heruka dewe rabnya mala nyenjene choga jindu longche payini lenke dewe jorwa la jukso ala la 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 ho ai arali ho jime kadrot sognam ki sewe zigla le kunso hung dejen shekpa tamche dang pawo dagni nel jorma kadro dagni kadroma kunla dagni solwa deb dewa chenpo yini rab kyope luni kuntu yowe gagini chage pema rope dewa che nel jorma sognam la chapatsa ala la 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 ho ai arali ho jime kadro sognam ki sewe zigla le kunsa hum dejen shekpa tamche dang pawo dagni nel jorma kadro dagni kadroma kunla dagni solwa deb yong jiwe nyamki gadze ma rabge gampok kedam kadro tsog dagi gundu jubtel jinlobla lenke de chen dagla tsel de sol ala la 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 ho ai arali ho jime kadro tsog namki sewe zigla le kunsa hum dejen shekpa tamche dang pawo dagni nel jorma kadro dagni kadroma kunla dagni solwa deb dechen tarpe tseni den pakyo dechen pangpe katub dumayi tsechik drowa mije dechen yang chukye chogu gi una ne payen ala la 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 ho ai arali ho jime kadro sonam ki sewe zigla le kunsa hung dejen shekpa tamche dang pawo dagni nel jorma kadro dagni kadroma kunla dagni solwa deb dangi usu kepe pe majin chagla ke kyang chagpe nyoma gu nel jorma chokpe me dewa yi si pe chingwa nyutu jolwa tso ala la 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 ho ai arali ho ho. Jime kadro tsogdan ki sewe zigla le kunsa. Hong dejen chek patam che dang. Pawo nagi dagni nel jorma. Kadro dagni kadro ma. Kun la dagni solwa deb. Jangti kunjungne kekit jangti chu. Bungwe tsoki kunne tongwada. Senyi drugden tsoke kebayi. Chuching pa yiro yitzim patso. La 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 ho ai li ho. Jime kadro sognanki. Dewe zigula le konso. So now we're going to offer the leftovers to all the local people around, all the spirits and the different people who all these non-humans who live around, to make, and the reason is to make sure that they all feel like they're part of the party and don't feel left out. And if they feel left out, they get upset and they make trouble. So we're going to subdue them. So we'll send out some leftovers. Over there. Okay, sort of picture. Put it on the little house around the corner. That's why I put mine. Little house around the little shed.
Okay.
Above. Mada Hung, impure false appearances are purified in emptiness. The sublime nectar made from wisdom knowledge, Om, becomes a vast ocean of all desired things. Om Ahung, Om Ahung, Om Ahung. Oh, blessed by Samadhi, mantra, and mudra, this remaining offering feast of an ocean of uncontaminated nectar, we offer to please you, host of oath-bound realm protectors. Om Ahung, Om Ahung, Om Ahung. Contented by enjoying an abundance of everything desirable, Maho, may yogic activities be properly accomplished. Ho, remaining guests and your retinue, accept this ocean of remaining offering feast. Let the precious teachings spread and all upholders and patrons of the Dharma, and especially we yogins, gain health, long life and power, glory, fame and good fortune and attainment of every desirable thing. Bestow on us the city of the actions of pacification, increase and so forth. Oath-bound protectors, protect us and help us obtain all accomplishments. Eliminate untimely death, sickness, demons and interfering spirits. Let there be no bad dreams, ill omens or actions and activities. Let the transitory beings be happy, crops be good, harvest increase and Dharma flourish. Let all happiness and goodness arise and all wishes in our minds be fulfilled. By the force of this bountiful giving, may I become a self-made Buddha for the sake of all beings. And by my generosity, may I liberate the multitudes of beings not liberated by previous Buddhas. So now we do the Lama in prayer. Starting at verse 85, page 52. And we'll say it in English. And just get the meaning. It's the whole Lamrim, all laid out. It was quite extensive. So to the extent that it has meaning for you, make those your thoughts. That's the idea. So realizing how this body of liberties and endowments is found but once, is difficult to obtain and is quickly lost, I seek your blessings to make it worthwhile and take its essence without being distracted by the meaningless affairs of this life. Aghast at the searing blaze of suffering in the lower realms, I take heartfelt refuge in the three precious gems and seek your blessings that I may eagerly strive to abandon all negativities and accomplish the accumulation of every virtue. Violently tossed amidst waves of karma and mental afflictions, plagued by the many sea monsters of the three kinds of sufferings, I seek your blessings to develop an intense longing to be liberated from this infinite and frightening great ocean of existence. Having abandoned the mind that views this unbearable prison of cyclic existence as a pleasure grove, I seek your blessings to hold the three trainings as the treasure of the superior's wealth and thereby to uphold liberation's banner. Having considered how all these miserable beings have been my mothers and have raised me with kindness again and again, I seek your blessings to develop effortless compassion like that of a loving mother for her precious child. There's no difference between me and others. None of us wishes for even the slightest of sufferings or is ever content with the happiness we have. Realizing this, I seek your blessings that I may generate joy for the happiness of others. This chronic disease of cherishing myself is the cause giving rise to my unsought suffering. Perceiving this, I seek your blessings to blame, begrudge, and destroy the monstrous demon of selfishness. The mind that cherishes mothers and places them in bliss is the gateway leading to infinite qualities. Seeing this, I seek your blessings to cherish these migratory beings more than my life, even should they rise up as my enemies. In brief, infantile beings labor only for their own ends, while the able ones work solely for the welfare of others. With a mind understanding the distinction between the failings of one and the advantages of the other, I seek your blessings to enable me to equalize and exchange myself with others. Cherishing myself is the doorway to all loss, while cherishing my mothers is the foundation of all qualities. Hence, I seek your blessings to enable me to equalize and exchange myself with others. And thus, perfect, pure, compassionate Guru, I seek your blessings that all negativities, obscurations, and sufferings of mother migrators may, without exception, ripen upon me right now, and that by giving my happiness and virtue to others, all migrators may experience happiness. And thus, perfect, pure, compassionate Guru, I seek your blessings that all negativities, obscurations, and sufferings of mother migrators may, without exception, ripen upon me right now, and that by giving my happiness and virtue to others, all migrators may experience happiness. And thus, perfect, pure, compassionate Guru, I seek your blessings that all negativities, obscurations, and sufferings of mother migrators may, without exception, ripen upon me right now, and that by giving my happiness and virtue to others, all migrators may experience happiness. Even if the environment and beings are filled with the fruits of negativity and unwished for sufferings poured down like rain, I seek your blessings to take these miserable conditions as a path by seeing them as causes to exhaust the results of my negative karma. In short, no matter what appearances arise, be they good or bad, I seek your blessings to transform them into a path increasing the two bodhicittas through the practice of the five forces, the quintessence of the entire Dharma, and thus to meditate only on mental happiness. I seek your blessings that I relate everything I may meet to meditation through skillful means possessing the four applications, and that I may make this life of liberties and endowments greatly meaningful through practicing the advice and pledges of thought transformation. In order to rescue all migrators from the vast seas of existence, I seek your blessings to train only in bodhicitta through love, compassion, and superior intention, conjoined with the technique of mounting, giving, and taking upon the breath. I seek your blessings that I may eagerly endeavor to put into practice the three Mahayana moral codes and to restrain my mind stream with pure vows of the conqueror's children, the single path journeyed by all victorious ones of the three times. I seek your blessings to complete the perfection of generosity through the guideline teachings of increasing the mind that gives without attachment, namely transforming my body, wealth, and a collection of virtues of the three times into the objects desired by each and every sentient being. I seek your blessings to complete the perfection of moral discipline, not transgressing the bounds of the pratimoksha, bodhisattva, and tantric vows, even at the cost of my life, accumulating virtuous dharmas and accomplishing the purpose of sentient beings. Should even all the beings of the three realms without exception become angry at me, humiliate, criticize, threaten, or even kill me, I seek your blessings not to be agitated, but to complete the perfection of patience that works for their benefit in response to their harm. Even if I must remain for an ocean of eons in the fiery hells of Avicii, for the sake of even just one sentient being, I seek your blessings to complete the perfection of enthusiasm that out of compassion untiringly strives for supreme enlightenment. Having abandoned the faults of sinking, agitation, and mental wandering, I seek your blessings to complete the perfection of mental stabilization through the samadhi of single-pointed placement upon the nature of reality of all phenomena, their lack of true existence. I seek your blessings to complete the perfection of wisdom through the space-like yoga of single-minded placement upon ultimate truth, conjoined with the pliancy and great bliss induced by the discriminating wisdom analyzing suchness. I seek your blessings to perfect the samadhi on illusion by realizing how outer and inner phenomena lack true existence but still appear like an illusion, a dream, or the moon's image on a still lake. Samsara and nirvana lack even an atom of inherent existence, and cause and effect and dependent arising are infallible. I seek your blessings to discern the meaning of Nagarjuna's thought, that these two are mutually complementary and not contradictory. Then, crossing the depths of the oceans of Tantra, through the kindness of my captain Vajradhara, I seek your blessings that I may hold my vows and pledges, the root of siddhis, dearer than my life. I seek your blessings that whatever appears may arise as the deity, having cleansed all stains of ordinary appearance and grasping, with the first stage yoga of transforming birth, death, and the bardo into the three bodies of a conqueror. I seek your blessings to actualize in this life the path uniting clear light and the illusory body, which arises from placing your feet, my Savior, in the 8 petals of my heart at the very center of my central channel. If my time of death comes before I have completed the points of the path, I seek your blessings that I may be led to a pure land through the instructions of correctly applying the 5 forces or the Guru's transference, the forceful means to enlightenment. In short, I seek your blessings, my Savior, to be guided by you from birth inseparably throughout all my lives, and thus to become your chief disciple, holding every secret of your body, speech, and mind. Savior, please grant that all be auspicious for me to be foremost among your very first circle of disciples wherever you manifest Buddhahood, so that all my temporal and ultimate wishes, without exception, may be effortlessly and spontaneously fulfilled. So now this verse, we're going to imagine the entire merit field that we visualized before, all dissolving. We do that now, then we'll just say the verse after. So imagine all the merit field. I mean, of course, most of us have good concentration, so we can't imagine it, but we imagine it's there, all the holy beings, all dissolving into Lama Losang Tupa Dorji Chang. And then he dissolves, and we imagine when the last line when it says, you know, once again, you set your radiant feet firmly at the corolla of my lotus heart. You then just visualize he absorbs into you. If you've received initiation, you visualize, you do Dharmakaya for a second, and if not, you imagine Buddha dissolves into you and just comes to your heart. Having thus been entreated, Supreme Gurus, pray grant this request, so that you may bless me, happily alight on the crown of my head, and once again set your radiant feet firmly at the corolla of my lotus heart. Imagine that you're oneness with the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha, Guru, the Buddha, Tsongkhapa, the Buddha, and Vajradhara. And now the conclusion. So basically what we just did, we did the preliminary practices, first of the 3. We did refuge and bodhicitta. Then we dissolved Buddha into us, and then we manifested out as the deity, or we saw Buddha in our heart. And then we visualized the merit field, Lama Losang Tupa Dorji Chang with all the others around. And then we invited the wisdom beings to absorb into him. And then we did the 7 limbs, many offering verses, the confession, the offering, the prostration, offerings, confessing, rejoicing, requesting to teach, requesting to stay, and dedication. And then we did the various requesting verses, and then we offered Tsog. And now we're finished. Now the 3rd part, the conclusion. Whatever virtues there were thus created, we dedicate as causes, enabling us to uphold the holy Dharma of scriptures and insights, and to fulfill without exception the prayers and deeds of all the Tathagatas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times. By the force of this merit, may we never be parted in all of our lives from Mahayana's 4 spheres, and may we reach the end of our journey along the paths of renunciation, bodhicitta, pure view, and the 2 stages. Through the quality of whatever virtues there are in samsara and nirvana, may all be auspicious for us to be free here and now from all misfortune and loss, and thus to enjoy a glorious and perfect celestial treasure of temporal and ultimate virtue and goodness. May all be auspicious for the Buddha's teachings to remain long through your centers of Dharma, omniscient Losang Dragpa, being filled with hosts of renunciates, yogis and yoginis, striving single-pointedly to master the 3 pure trainings. Having received your blessings, Losang Dragpa, Tsongkhapa, who from the time of your youth made request to the Supreme Guru deity, may there be auspiciousness of Losang Dragpa Vajradhara, which spontaneously accomplishes the purpose of others. May all of our desired endowments swell like a lake in the summer rains. May we have an unbroken continuity of rebirths with freedom and faultless families. May we pass our days and nights with the holy Dharma of Losang Dragpa. And may we delight in the glories of perfection. Dag sog nam ki deng ne jong chu bar ki dang yi gur gewa chi sag par jing dir jetsun dam pe zu ki ku Gyur me dorje taten tra